There was a moment on Good Morning Britain when Jenny Ryan stopped sounding like a game show character and started sounding like a person carrying something heavier than a quiz buzzer. Most people know her as the Vixen. The red hair, the calm stare, the voice that can make a 10-second answer feel like a verdict. But when she sat down with Ben Shepherd and Charlotte Hawkins, the conversation drifted somewhere quieter than the usual chat about trivia and prize money. She started talking about the side of the chase that viewers rarely get invited into, the guilt. Because here's the thing that makes this so interesting. For years, fans have whispered the same question after certain episodes. Did the chaser just let them win? It's the kind of theory that spreads fast online, the kind that turns a game show outcome into a mini controversy by lunchtime. And instead of brushing it off with a rehearsed non-answer, Jenny addressed it directly, admitting that yes, there are moments where she feels genuinely guilty watching a team walk away with nothing. That's not a small thing to say on live television. Chasers are built up as intimidating, almost unbeatable, defined by their ruthlessness. So when one of them admits to feeling something as human as guilt, it changes the entire emotional texture of the show. Suddenly the Vixen isn't just a competitor built to win. She's someone who clearly thinks about the people on the other side of that podium long after the cameras stop rolling on their episode. It's easy to imagine why that detail struck a chord with people watching. Viewers have always sensed a gap between the persona and the person, and here was a rare moment where Jenny let that gap close a little, live, in front of millions. But the guilt was only half the story. She also pulled back the curtain on how much actual work goes into being a chaser, describing it almost like professional athletes describe training. Constant reading, constant updating, trying to hold an entire world of shifting facts in your head because the news doesn't pause just because it's inconvenient for a quiz. That single comparison, quizzing as a professional sport, reframes everything about how audiences might watch her going forward. It's not a party trick. It's discipline, repeated daily, mostly invisible, until it suddenly isn't. There's something quietly moving about that combination, relentless preparation paired with real emotional weight. It challenges the assumption that chasers are simply confident by nature. What she described sounds more like people who've built confidence deliberately, brick by brick, while still carrying the awareness that the person across the table is having the worst 5 minutes of their week. It also says something about why the fix rumors exist in the first place. When a chaser is genuinely likable, genuinely sympathetic, viewers sometimes struggle to reconcile that warmth with a loss on screen. It almost seems easier for some people to imagine a soft outcome was engineered than to accept that skill and emotion can exist in the same person at the same time. Jenny's answer quietly dismantled that assumption without ever sounding defensive about it. What made the interview linger wasn't a dramatic reveal or a shocking headline. It was smaller than that. It was the sense of watching someone slightly step outside a character they've spent years perfecting, if only for a few sentences, to admit that winning doesn't always feel simple. Moments like that tend to stick with people longer than they expect. Not because anything scandalous happened, but because it felt honest in a format that rarely leaves room for honesty. Viewers came for a quick morning chat about a quiz show and left with a slightly different picture of the person behind the persona. Maybe that's the part worth sitting with. Not the trivia, not the prize money, not even the rumors, but the quiet admission that being good at something doesn't cancel out feeling something. What did you notice most in that interview? The guilt, the discipline, or something else entirely? Let us know what stayed with you.